Hello guys, this is Don's Movies, and in this video I will be giving you 5 Easter eggs that I found in the game that I think are quite interesting. Now of course these aren't like all of them or even the coolest ones, as generally the game has like over 100 if not more Easter eggs hidden all over the Azeroth and Outland and all of that. Of course some are easy to find, some not so much, and some are even bannable. So without further ado, let's just get into the list. Number 5. The Hatch in Krasarang Wilds. Now this one is a bit similar to the previous one, and it is kind of a reference to the series Lost, and it was found in Sholazar Basin. Now this hatch you can find in Krasarang Wilds on the eastern island, all the way at the bottom near the lagoon. And in the middle of this tiny island lies a little hatch with a bunch of small skeletons around it. I believe it's like 7. And there is also an item called Stack of Papers that you can pick up and read. And it reads 0515121200. System failure. Now this could be a bit confusing, but when you look at it closely it shows up 15th of May 2012 at 12:01, which was the release date of Diablo 3, and we all know how that went down. Thus system failure is written there because of their disastrous release date, which in my opinion is really cool since they kinda recognize their own mistakes and they added it as an Easter egg in another game. Number 4. Newton's Apple. Now this one is kind of an inside joke and can be found just a bit below the Throne of the Elements in Grand. Now on this tiny floating little island you can find a skeleton with an axe inside his skull and a bunch of apples around him, which is obviously an inside joke because, as we know, supposedly Newton got the idea for the theory of gravity when an apple fell on his head. Then he realized it, and since there is like no gravity or barely any, it works a bit different in a Grand. It's obvious that this Newton failed and an axe fell on his head instead of an apple, and there is really no story of how this man got there, no like lore or backstory, whatever it is, and the entire purpose of it is pretty much just an Easter egg to be an inside joke and a reference to something, and honestly I think Blizzard did a really good job on this one. Number 3. WKM Room. The infamous WKM room. Now it has been in the game since like forever, I believe, since the release date, but yet it's barely accessible today, and you can actually risk a ban entering the room, and a lot of people have been banned, which is why I don't have any recorded footage for it except images. Now generally you can't really be banned because of it, but you can be banned because of glitching. Now the location of it is pretty much in the middle of Orgrimmar, inside one of those like big canyon rocks. And the only way to access this hidden room is to glitch under Orgrimmar and fly up the rock, which is a bannable offense. And there used to be many ways to do this, but they seem to have been patched and people are still searching for ways to get inside, and they're fixing it like every day, all of those like little collision glitches and all of that. Now once you do get inside, however, there is a small room with a sign that says WKM. Now no one really knows what it is, but it is suggested that it's one of the initials of a World of Warcraft developer that died just before the release of the game back in 2004. Although it is not confirmed, as one of the players contacted a GM about it and he stated that it is unknown. So most likely only a few guys at Blizzard know what this is, and I hope it's cleared out one day. Number 2. Lost Vikings. Now this one is pretty cool as it references a really old Blizzard game called The Lost Vikings, which is now available for Windows as well, and it used to be one of my favorite games that I played a lot when I was really young. So in the dungeon Uldaman you can find 3 very mysterious dwarves called Belog, Erix the Swift, and also Olaf, and all 3 of them look very similar to their design in The Lost Vikings, like with the helmets and clothes and colors and all of that. Now in the original game each of them had their own abilities and specialties, thus together they formed like a perfect team. And now in World of Warcraft their abilities are kinda copied, so they're pretty similar as they were in the original game. Now they're friendly to the Alliance, but are killable if you're a Horde. Now in my opinion this is really cool, and generally in like all Blizzard games you can find these cross-game references, which is pretty awesome. Number 1. Arthas Terra's Dialogue. Now this one is probably very well known, and it is really cool and kinda creepy at the same time as well. So if you go inside Undercity and turn up the ambience and sound volume, you'll be able to hear the Warcraft 3 cinematic in which Arthas kills his father. Now pretty much everything is as it was in the cinematic. You can see like the little bridge that Arthas passed through, also the bell ringing and the little corridor he passed through when the roses fell. Then you can find the door busted open, and the entire room is exactly the same. You have those little advisor seats on the walls, the throne in the center, and also the flooring is the same. And even on the floor, you can find the blood of Terranus Menetil, which is a bit weird, since it's been there for like 15 years and no one like cleaned it or like dissolved or something, but it's still pretty cool. Now the Easter egg is, if you get inside the chamber, you turn up the volume, you'll be able to hear the dialogue between Arthas and his father, which is the same as it was in the cinematic, and it's not like the entire dialogue, it's just like these little snippets of the dialogue, like the keywords, like succeeding your father, this kingdom shall fall, and all of that. And honestly, Warcraft 3 is like my favorite game of all time, and the cinematics were really epic in the game as well, so I'm really glad that they added this little tribute inside the game. And that is all I have for this list. Thanks for watching, and I hope you could enjoy it, and don't forget to leave some suggestions on what you think, and also what sort of videos you would like to see. Also don't forget to like, favorite and subscribe, it really helps out the channel and keeps these videos going. And check out my Twitch channel as I stream there a few times a week, every few days. Right now it's kind of a side thing, but hopefully one day it should get a little bit more serious. So you can find the link for the stream in the description below. Anyways, thanks so much for taking your time to watch this video, and see you next time.